Hey guys, so I thought that I would sit outside for this video because it's very nice outside today. Um, anyways, I totally had like a little mind blank there, brain fart. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about the progress that I'm making with therapy. So we are at the point now where I may be done having to go to regular therapy appointments. My therapist feels like we are actually making quite a bit of progress compared to when I started. And if you guys are curious, when I first started going to therapy, I was going every other week, and then we moved it to every 3 weeks, and I did that for a while, and now we are every month. And she thinks that by summer or fall, depending on how I'm doing, we may be able to stop therapy and only have therapy when I feel like I need to talk. Like, I'm not saying that she thinks that I can just stop therapy altogether, but she thinks that I don't really need to have regular appointments like on a consistent basis, more of just like an as needed type of thing, if that makes sense. So I'm really happy about that because the gas prices are still astronomically high compared to what they were when I started therapy. When I started therapy, they were like $3.70 something a gallon, and now it's almost to $4.50 a gallon. So it's pretty darn expensive. And if you guys didn't know, I think I've mentioned this in another video, but if you didn't know, my therapist's office is actually a little bit over an hour away from where I live. So I think it's good that I'm making progress. I feel like I'm in a better headspace. I'm definitely not dealing with as much depression as I was at first. I think my biggest problem right now is still anxiety. She did, I was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, and she did help me with a lot of coping mechanisms and tips and stuff like that for dealing with that anxiety. It's a little bit rough trying to get used to life with anxiety. And, not that I haven't been dealing with anxiety for a long time, but I feel like I'm better equipped to handle the issues that come along with anxiety than I was before I started going to see her. So I do still have anxiety, obviously, but I think that I'm in a better space to deal with the issues that arise from that. So I'm just excited to kind of move on to the next phase. And I thought it was funny, like the last time I went to see her was the day before divorce court, and I talked to her and I told her how anxious I was. Like, I hadn't been sleeping really that well, and I just had a whole lot of anxiety. And it was funny because as I was leaving the office that day after we finished our session and I was scheduling my next appointment, the receptionist asked, would you like to come back in 1 week or 2 weeks? And I said, well, I'm making it a month. And, my therapist and I had talked about that in the office before I left to go schedule my appointment. And my therapist did walk up to the desk with me because there was actually a scheduling issue. And I wasn't on the schedule for the day before divorce court. And so I showed up there and was trying to check in, and they said that I wasn't on the schedule. So she came up to the desk with me to make sure that I was actually put on the schedule this time, since I have to drive an hour to her office. But anyways, she heard me tell the receptionist a month, and she's like, oh my gosh, I have to wait a month to find out what happened at divorce court, which I thought it was funny. Like, I have a really good relationship with my therapist, and compared to my therapist when I was in high school, that made me lose trust in therapists. This therapist, her name is Carol. She is so amazing. Like, She completely just made me feel so much more comfortable about going back to therapy and talking to someone that I really didn't know. She really helped me feel more comfortable sharing my story and sharing, like, you know, different issues that I've had. And yeah, it's been good to just kind of be able to talk to someone to get things off my chest, but I don't feel like I need to go, you know, necessarily every couple of weeks or every week or every 3 weeks. So yeah, I just feel like I'm in a much better place. Sorry if you hear that really loud car. Sometimes when the weather is just right, you can hear all the traffic on the highway, and today is one of those days. But yeah, I feel like I'm in a good space. I'm definitely going to still keep in touch with my therapist. We do have the option of Zoom, but it's not with my therapist. So I don't know that I'd really want to get into that. Obviously, it would be easier on gas, but I don't really feel comfortable talking to another therapist other than Carol, because she's who I trust. So yeah. I don't think that Zoom with a different therapist is really an option for me, but I feel like I'm in a good place. I'm much more confident than I was going into therapy, like for my first appointment with her. And we just kind of like, we chit chat and we talk like we're old friends. And it's just, it's comforting to know that you have somebody like that in your life that you can share things with. So anyways, that's my little therapy update. I hope you guys are having a good day. It's beautiful here. And I'm just sitting out here on the deck enjoying the sunshine. So I will talk to you guys in my next video.